Now our next story is a sweet one. From the hive to your home, what does it take to extract honey from a bee colony? Jay Madison visits Stiles Apiaries in Theresa to tell us what the buzz is all about.
We're at Stiles Apiaries up here in Theresa, New York, and Grant is the owner. He's going to take us on a little tour. We're going to learn all about honey production.
Yeah, we're going to show you how to extract honey and how we're going to take honey off the bees today.
Now, you promise I won't get stung?
I can't guarantee that.
Uh-oh.
It's a stingy business.
All right, Grant, you promised me that we would get up close and personal with a whole lot of honeybees. And I would say we're probably about as close and personal as possible. Now, again, these are supers. You would call this a hive, or?
Yeah, this is a super. That's where the bees store their honey. These are bigger boxes. That's where the bees' space is, so
That's
to
their
speak.
living space.
Correct.
All right, so what is the process? What are we going to do here?
Well, actually, we brought you out in the field to show you how we're going to take honey off.
Okay.
To show you how it comes out of the field to the final process of the extracting.
All right, so these are loaded with bees right now.
They're full of bees.
And you've got that that fume thing.
This is a smoker. We use the smoker to calm the bees so they're not as stingy or buzzy. We're going to take the lid off. Okay, now every colony is different, and some make honey, some don't.
Okay.
Depends on the weather conditions. The drought this year was really bad for us.
Has that had a bad impact on you?
Severely, probably a 40% loss of crop.
Okay.
So like you can see, well, maybe you can't, but this colony didn't really do very much. It's got bees in it. It's not real heavy. As we get down in there, you're going to see that the honey is in here.
Okay, so I can see there's a little bit of liquid in there.
Yep.
But is that normal, or should there be more coming out?
Well, actually, the box they just took off should be full, but that was empty.
Empty. Wow.
So
the drought had that much of an impact.
There's about a 25 to 30 pound loss just on that one colony.
So what are you going to do with these dry supers? What will you do with these?
All these supers, we're going to chase the bees out of the super, and then we're going to put the supers on pallets, and then we're going to put everything up on the truck, and then we're going to take that honey back to the honey house to be extracted.
We're here in what you call the hot room. What's the purpose of the hot room?
The purpose of the hot room is we bring the honey in from the field. It's cold. The hot room is warm, about 90 degrees. The beehive temperature is generally about 94.
Okay.
But because of the cold nights, the honey gets cold easily. Right. We bring that in, we warm it back up so we can extract it and get it all out of the honeycomb.
Okay, this is the honeycomb.
This is the honeycomb.
A frame of honey. Now you're going to show us how you take the honey out of these frames?
We're going to go into the next room. We're going to run it through the uncapping process and the extracting process. This machine is called an uncapper.
Okay.
Okay, what it does is it cuts the wax cappings off. It has two knives that are heated with steam, and those jiggle back and forth and cut all the wax cappings off. It opens the cells of the honeycomb, which then leaves it vulnerable to get the honey taken out.
So as they move down the line here, these are just being stacked up to go into the next machine?
Correct. They'll come up the conveyor, and then they'll go into the extractor. The wax comes off the uncapping, that opens the honeycomb up. It falls down into the auger, and then the auger will pump it up into the wax spinner.
Into this. Okay.
And then that spins around just like your extractor, which takes the honey out of the beeswax.
So you're actually capturing more honey out of this.
Correct.
Making sure there's none wasted.
Right.
And then you've got the wax that becomes more product.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. These are the extracted frames.
Okay.
The honey's all been taken out. So what he does is he pushes 30 empty frames out and 30 full frames in.
Okay. So just one easy process.
And then he flips it over, and then it'll be 30 empties out and 30 full in. He's going to start this, hit the switch, and then We'll open that up for you, but the honey will be starting to come out. The honeycomb actually has an angle to it in the beehive, and that's so the honey doesn't run out. So through this centrifugal force, it sucks the honey out of those little cells, and then, of course, a little bit adds to a lot.
Okay, so Grant, you've got a tank here. What's the name of this?
This is a holding tank.
Okay.
It's all the extracted honey from yesterday or today.
Okay.
And then we're going to empty it into the drums so we can fill it back up.
How much honey do you hold in here?
There's about 10 drums, so say it's 6,000
gallons?
7,000 pounds.
Wow, that's incredible. And one of these barrels is about 650 pounds?
Approximately, right.
Okay. Well, let's see what this honey looks
All right.
like coming out. Look at that. That is beautiful. Pure gold, very clear.
Liquid gold.
I guess so.